People who choose not to post on social media are often misunderstood in a world where sharing everything has become the norm. But their silence isn't emptiness, it's intention. These individuals value privacy in a way that feels rare today. They don't measure their lives by what can be displayed, edited, or validated by others. Instead, they nurture a world inside themselves that belongs only to them. While many people chase visibility, they seek depth in their thoughts, conversations, and relationships. Their life is not a performance. It is a private journey unfolding quietly, away from the eyes of strangers. For them, privacy isn't about hiding. It's about preserving what matters. In a society where oversharing is praised as honesty, they see the beauty in keeping some things sacred. Their milestones, struggles, and joys don't need an audience to be meaningful. They understand that the more people who have access to your life, the more noise enters your mind, and so they choose silence not because they have nothing to say, but because they know not every thought deserves a stage. These individuals often think deeply before they act. They are not impulsive posters. They don't feel the pressure to update the world about where they are or what they're doing. Their self-worth is not tied to digital applause. Instead, they live life with a kind of freedom many people overlook, the freedom of not needing to be seen. They don't rely on external approval to validate their identity. Their sense of self is built from reflection, introspection, and personal experience, not from algorithms. They find richness in real, life conversations, face-to-face moments, and private memories. They cherish the silence others fear, and that silence becomes their strength. People who value privacy protect their energy from the endless social comparisons that drain confidence and joy. They build emotional resilience because their attention isn't scattered across 1,000 online opinions. They focus on what matters, the people they love, the goals they're pursuing, and the inner world they're constantly growing. In a culture obsessed with being seen, choosing privacy is an act of power. It means you trust yourself more than the crowd. It means you understand the value of your own presence, even if no one else is watching. People who don't post on social media often carry a strong sense of self-awareness that sets them apart. They are deeply in tune with who they are, what they value, and what they don't need from the world. Because of this, they don't chase approval or attention in digital spaces. Their identity isn't shaped by likes, comments, or follower counts. Instead, it comes from inner reflection, personal experiences, and the quiet confidence they build through their own growth. They don't need to broadcast their lives to feel validated. They already know their worth, and they don't require an audience to reinforce it. Their self-awareness is evident in the way they move through the world. They understand their emotions, their boundaries, and their intentions. They know what drains them and what strengthens them. They are mindful of how digital platforms can influence mood, comparison, and self-esteem. Instead of getting caught up in the endless cycle of posting, checking, refreshing, and reacting, they choose presence over performance. They prefer to live their lives rather than curate them. People with this kind of self-awareness recognize that social media can easily become a mirror, one that reflects back exaggerated expectations and pressure to impress. They don't want to shape themselves to fit those illusions. They'd rather stay grounded in who they truly are, not in a version of themselves crafted for approval. They understand the difference between self-expression and seeking attention, and they choose the former without needing validation. These individuals are often calm observers. They notice more because they are not distracted by the impulse to document every moment. They listen deeply, think carefully, and act with intention. This allows them to build stronger relationships, because their focus is on genuine connection instead of online interaction. Their self-awareness also protects them from getting lost in the noise. They maintain a clear sense of identity regardless of trends, opinions, or external expectations. In a world that constantly encourages people to present their best selves online, those who resist this pressure demonstrate a rare inner stability. Their confidence comes from their character, not their profile. They don't need applause because they already trust the quiet truth inside themselves. Their self-awareness becomes their guide, grounding them, strengthening them, and reminding them that their worth has never depended on being seen, but on being real. People who don't post on social media are often the quiet observers of the world, the ones who watch, learn, and understand far more than they reveal. While others feel the urge to show every moment, every outing, every achievement, these individuals pause. They take in their surroundings with a level of awareness that most people overlook. They pay attention to human behavior, to conversations, to emotions beneath the surface. They aren't busy thinking about angles, captions, or how something will look online. Instead, they focus on what something means. Their energy goes toward understanding life, not showcasing it. Because they are not constantly thinking about posting, they develop a sharper sense of observation. They notice details, the tone in someone's voice, the tension in a room, the way a friend's smile doesn't reach their eyes. They pick up on patterns, habits, and emotions. This makes them thoughtful, perceptive, and often wise beyond their years. They're not passive observers, they're active learners. Everything becomes a lesson, a story, or a reflection. Their mind becomes their journal, and the world becomes their teacher. These people don't feel the need to entertain others, so they remain connected to their inner world. Their thoughts run deep. They ask themselves big questions about life, purpose, relationships, and human nature. This introspection forms a part of their identity. While many are busy performing for a digital audience, these individuals are busy understanding themselves and others. Their silence is not emptiness, it's depth. It's a space where thoughts grow, where clarity forms, where intuition strengthens. This tendency to observe rather than display also gives them a unique emotional intelligence. They read between the lines. They understand the motives behind people's actions. They sense things without being told. And because they are not putting on a performance, they value authenticity in others too. They prefer real conversations over small talk. They appreciate honesty more than polished appearances. They are the type of people who give thoughtful advice, who listen deeply, and who make others feel seen. In a world where many are trying to be noticed, observers find strength in understanding. They don't crave the spotlight because they know the real power lies in awareness. They learn from the world quietly, absorb its lessons deeply, and move through life with a wisdom that comes from seeing what others miss. Their quiet presence is not weakness, it's insight, focus, and a mind that refuses to be distracted by the noise. People who choose not to post on social media often do so because they value their mental peace more than digital visibility. They understand how easy it is to get caught in the cycle of comparison, seeing everyone's highlight reels and feeling pressured to match them. By staying off the stage, they protect themselves from the subtle, constant evaluations that social media encourages. They know that comparison is not always loud. Sometimes it sits quietly in the back of your mind, making you question whether you're enough. These individuals consciously avoid that noise. They choose clarity over confusion, intention over impulsiveness, and peace over pressure. They are aware that social media can distort reality. People show success, not struggle, joy, not pain, victories, not failures. Instead of consuming a perfected world and feeling behind, they intentionally step away. They refuse to measure their progress against others' selective slices of life. They understand that everyone grows at their own pace, and that comparison steals gratitude. By avoiding the constant stream of curated images, they maintain a healthier self-image and a deeper sense of self-worth. These individuals also understand the emotional toll that constant posting can bring. They see how people chase validation, how self-esteem rises and falls with numbers, how identity becomes tied to engagement. They don't want that kind of influence on their mind. They want to make decisions because they feel right, not because they will look impressive online. They want to experience life for what it actually is, not for how it will appear to others. This decision frees them from the subtle pressure to perform, allowing them to live more authentically. Protecting mental peace is an active choice. By avoiding the spotlight, they avoid the internal chaos that comes with seeking approval. Their mind becomes quieter, their thoughts become clearer. They don't waste energy trying to keep up with trends or expectations. They invest that energy into their craft, their goals, their relationships, and their personal growth. Without the distraction of comparison, they focus on becoming better rather than appearing better. In a world that's always watching, choosing not to participate is an act of strength. It's a declaration that their value does not depend on how many people see them. They protect their mental space because they know peace is more important than popularity. They choose silence not out of fear, but out of wisdom, the wisdom to guard their inner world from unnecessary noise. People who don't post on social media often focus on building a meaningful life rather than displaying one. Their energy goes into living, experiencing, and growing, not into capturing the perfect photo or crafting the perfect caption. They understand that real progress doesn't need to be announced for it to be real. Their achievements take place quietly, privately, and with intention. They invest their time in skills, habits, goals, and relationships that matter to them, instead of worrying about how those things would look online. They seek fulfillment, not attention, substance, not spectacle. These individuals recognize that social media can create pressure to constantly update others, to prove productivity, or to appear successful. But they have no interest in performing for an invisible audience. They don't need to show evidence of their growth to feel proud of it. They trust the process they're in, even if no one else sees it. Their life becomes a private journey rather than a public display. They are not driven by the need for recognition because their motivation comes from within. They don't need applause to confirm they're on the right path. By not posting, they liberate themselves from the expectation to impress. They live each moment fully, without thinking about how it will look on a screen. They travel for the experience, not the aesthetics. They enjoy meals for the taste, not the photo. They celebrate achievements for the meaning, not for the engagement. They know that true joy is quieter, deeper, and more authentic than anything curated online. Their memories are lived, not staged. This mindset allows them to progress faster and grow stronger. Without the distraction of constant sharing, they have more time to reflect, improve, and pursue their goals. They build discipline instead of chasing digital validation. They cultivate strong relationships because they are present, attentive, and sincere. They are fully involved in the moments that shape them, and because of this, their growth is real. It doesn't need filters or applause to be valuable. In a world that rewards performance, choosing privacy can be revolutionary. People who don't post aren't missing out, they're building. They're developing themselves, their character, and their future away from the spotlight. They don't need to be seen to be significant. Their life is proof enough, even if only they can see it. They're living a story that doesn't need broadcasting, because they are too busy becoming the best version of themselves. In a world that constantly asks for proof of our existence, there are still people who choose to live quietly, people who don't need an audience to feel alive. They move differently. They think deeply, observe carefully, and protect their inner world with intention. Their silence is not emptiness, it is strength. It is self-respect. It is clarity. These are the individuals who refuse to let comparison steal their joy, who value their peace more than popularity. They don't look for validation because they already understand their own worth. They don't need to post proof of their journey because they are too focused on becoming the kind of person they can respect. They live, grow, heal, and evolve privately without the noise of judgment, pressure, or expectations. While the world is busy showing, they are busy becoming, and that quiet becoming is powerful. So if you are someone who rarely posts, someone who observes more than you speak, someone who builds in silence, don't ever feel like you're behind. You are simply choosing a path that fewer people have the courage to walk. You're choosing depth over display, purpose over performance, and authenticity over attention. And in the end, it's not the loudest life that is the most meaningful, it's the one lived with intention, presence, and truth. Keep growing quietly, keep becoming powerfully. Your life does not need to be seen to be significant.